My name is Dr. Kate Fickas. I'm with the Utah Division of Water Quality. I'm the Harmful Algal Bloom Program Coordinator. HAB stands for harmful algal bloom, but harmful algal blooms are actually harmful cyanobacteria blooms. Cyanobacteria are a type of bacteria that can photosynthesize, so that means when they get in our lakes, have the warm weather, the nutrient input, they bloom into large algal mats, and sometimes they release toxins, which is what we're worried about for our recreators in Utah. As a scientific community, we're getting closer to understanding the dynamics of these harmful algal blooms. 3 very important studies came out this summer that are relevant to Utah. One from the University of Utah and one from BYU. Those investigated the different mechanisms in which harmful algal blooms are triggered. One study found that harmful algal blooms have been occurring at least since the 1980s and have been occurring earlier in the year. Their starting date is earlier in the year, and their magnitude is increasing, especially on Utah Lake. A study from BYU found that there are specific hot spots within Utah Lake in which harmful algal blooms are prone to occurring. That gives us a really good idea as to where to locate harmful algal blooms when we're monitoring. Every recreation season, Utah's Division of Water Quality prioritizes about 60 to 70 lakes that we deem high priority for recreationists to keep them safe from harmful algal blooms. So every day during the season, our HAB monitoring crew goes out to about 3 to 6 lakes and monitors with sampling, and then we send those samples into the lab for toxin analysis and then taxonomy and cell counts. Utah has a recreational health threshold that we like to hold our waters to keep the recreationists safe. So the toxin data tells us whether or not a harmful algal bloom exists and whether or not it's extremely toxic to swimmers, boaters, fishers, skiers, that kind of thing. This year, our monitoring crew visited over 800 sites across about 70 different lakes. We had 60% more harmful algal bloom advisories than we have in the past, hitting a record number of advisories and dangers on our waters. This year was the first instance that we closed a water body to fishing with the potential for a fine or citation. We worked closely with the Division of Wildlife Resources to monitor a bloom on Mount Warner that grew very high in both toxicity and cell count this summer. That permanent fishing closure was on for the entire month of September. We watched that lake very closely, saw toxins and cell counts come down, and that fishing closure was actually lifted at the end of September. I'm an environmental scientist by trade, and I grew up in the water. I recreate in the water every day in the summer. I either swim or kayak, so I know how important water is to Utah and to the country. I take a personal responsibility to make sure that recreation is both fun, safe, enjoyable, and beautiful for all of our Utah recreators.